He was one of the best WWE had on the main roster at the time. CM Punk was a lot of things. He was charismatic. He was a high flyer. He was a technical dude. He was just an all rounder, great wrestler in the ring and great on the mic. Like everything about this guy was awesome. Everything about CM Punk was cool. It was awesome. You wanted to just be like him in his characters sometimes. Well, except for the straight edge society issue, but I'll get to that in another video about the group. But CM Punk was the cool factor. He was everything that was cool when it came to wrestling. Whereas John Cena, he was the exact opposite. He was PG. He was kid friendly. He was everything that was wrong with the modern day WWE, in my opinion, and a lot of other opinions. But you would honestly expect the very best out of CM Punk in his matches. Like, he made a lot of matches great. He did a lot of great things in the WWE. He had a 434-day reign as WWE World Champion. Sadly, he didn't get to main event WrestleMania, but I've already covered this in my thoughts about CM Punk's departure from WWE video. But, what are you going to do? But CM Punk, my God, he was just so great on the mic. That's where his big collection was at. All of his promos he cut. Everything that he just said as the underlying truth about WWE being corporate filled, hypocrisy, the machine ruining the pushes of everybody and whatnot. And then there was the pipe bomb promo he delivered, and that kickstarted a series of pipe bomb promos in WWE, such as the Page Bomb, or AJ Lee's pipe bomb, or Cesaro's little shoot promo he cut. Like, it just started changing from shoot to pipe bomb in the ring, where you basically vent out frustration and give your honest thoughts about the current state of management and whatnot, and the current state of the WWE. And Punk, he was so good at that. He was the catalyst of that. Like I always pictured him as the guy trying to start this revolution in WWE. However, CM Punk wasn't the one that ignited it. Everyone thought, oh, it's gonna be Daniel Bryan. Nope, Daniel Bryan didn't ignite it, and I'm still waiting to be ignited, where all these young guys get the opportunity, and like everyone can make the argument Reigns is trying to do it. But he's been chosen by WWE, so people would also say, no, it needs to be someone who's against the system, not someone who's all for it. So expect that kind of comment to come in. So, and my favorite matches with Punk had got to be his match with John Cena, begrudgingly, at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view where he won the WWE title. That match was an instant classic. However, I didn't like the fact that it came with a John Cena excuse where he can make the excuse that he lost to McMahon and Laurinaitis interfering and trying to screw CM Punk out of the title shot. So, like, yeah, like, I would, like, that's John Cena pulling the strings again, him getting another excuse to why he lost, instead of just a straight up clean victory. And we wouldn't get that for another 4 years. My God, he just has too many excuses under his belt. But Punk, man, there was a lot of things about the guy. Like, I've already covered his departure in the other video, but everything about Punk was just so great. Everything he was doing was great. He, from his early days, just being this clean cut good guy at times where he still had an attitude, to becoming world heavyweight champion twice and having the big gold belt, and then his feud with Jeff Hardy. Instant classic. Like, it was just a classic feud between him and Jeff Hardy. Like, they just did matches, did storytelling. Their table ladders and chairs match at SummerSlam was a classic. It was just so awesome to see that match happen. It reminded me so much of the old days. That could be accustomed to the fact that it's Jeff Hardy and CM Punk who grew up with the old days and basically thrived in it. But along with that, there was his feud. Then he had a feud with The Rock. He basically had fought every major competitor in WWE. He fought Randy Orton. He fought The Rock. He fought John Cena. He fought The Undertaker. He fought Jeff Hardy. He fought The Big Show. Still, you can't make a good match with Big Show as much anymore unless you have weapons involved. But that's beside the point. He basically had faced every guy in the WWE, every talented individual. He feuded with The Shield. He feuded with Daniel Bryan in an instant classic. He feuded with Kane. He feuded with all these talented individuals. And like, what's left to accomplish? Wait, you want to main event WrestleMania, yet you're denied that. Like I said, covered it in a video, so you can check that out. So everything about Punk was great. His promo collection was great, and how he also came off as a jerk as a face. Like he one time in the show, like there's a lot of controversy about Punk, like how his attitude towards people are. Like he takes no prisoners, he pulls no punches. Like he'll be honest, he'll be brutally honest with you, like how he told this guy in the audience saying he's fat and says he was going to kick his ass, and the fans just went wild and crazy for that. Like, yeah, that's the Punk we want, and not these cookie cutter John Cena types. Like, like the guy that takes no punches and will tell you what he really thinks. It reminded me a bit of the Dudley Boys during ECW, where they called out the audience and insulted them. It was reminding me of that. And one time Punk punched a guy in the audience because he thought the audience backhanded him when it was just a tap on the shoulder saying, let's go Punk, pretty much. And Punk hit him in the head, and like, yeah, that was very, very bad. There's a picture and videos of it on the internet, and Punk apologized, I think, or WWE made him do it or paid him a fine. But yeah, Punk had numerous controversial issues, like his attitude, his way he left WWE. Um, a lot about Punk was very controversial, but if I was to put him, like, there's one area where he, like, compare this to now, what he was doing, compare it to what would happen if he was in the original ECW, since Paul Heyman said, and as I said in the previous video, that Paul Heyman said the only success in the modern ECW was CM Punk. So put CM Punk in the old ECW. Imagine for 1 minute what would happen if he was in the original ECW. He would be slaughtered by the fans, and he would fight and he would punch back. And that would have been also scary, but yet awesome at the same time. Like, the fans would be brutal, Punk would be brutal. I could see basically bloodlust curling in them, trying to keep, and Punk would let the audience come into the ring and fight him. Like, I could picture that actually happening. Like, that's how much Punk's attitude was in character. Like, if you even I said, like, compare this to ECW days back then. Yeah, it would have been much worse in terms of how bad the situation would have been. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.